Welcome to 5 Minutes With, the show where we spend around 5 minutes or so with a motorsport star. And today, for the first time in 2025, on the show, we have,
Jak Crawford.
yes, Jak Crawford, Formula 2 driver for Dams and an Aston Martin Reserve. Thank you for making the time for this today.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me.
More than welcome, more than welcome. So, you're originally from North Carolina, but of course, you are from Texas in terms of where you spent quite a bit of time, which is big NASCAR country over in the United States, for those that aren't aware. Did you always have your eyes set on single seaters, and how did you get started in the karting world?
Yeah, so I'll start back when I started karting. I I started when I was 6 years old. My dad had bought me a go-kart when I was 5 years old, but he didn't let me race until I was six. And just always loved cars and racing as a kid. Like you said, I was a huge NASCAR guy. Growing up, that's what I watched. That's what me and my dad watched. So yeah, got into karting at six just as a hobby, and turned into so much more. And over the years, it's really changed. Obviously go-karting on a road course on a track with not left-hand corners. I was naturally good at the open wheel stuff, or yeah, the open wheel stuff, but I also loved the NASCAR stuff. I mean, still, only doing the karting, I still wanted to race in NASCAR when I was 10, 11 years old. And then all of a sudden I just got some great opportunities with the Red Bull Junior team at the time and at the end of 2019, and as well as F1 started to get a bit more popular in the United States around 2017, 2018. So I started to see it on TV. I started to get interested in that. And that's when I decided that's what I want to do.
Yeah, it's interesting. You mentioned the popularity of the sport in the US, obviously rising around 2017, which leads me nicely into my next question. How has the perception of Formula One changed in the US since Drive to Survive became a thing? Because for me, from an outside perspective, it seems as though it's gone from a relatively niche sport in the US to now becoming relatively mainstream. I mean, we see some absolutely huge attendances at all three US based Grand Prix in recent times.
Yeah, it's been crazy the evolution. I mean, I remember when I first started racing in single seaters, I told people what my goal was and they were like, "Oh, is that like an Indy car or is that like an NASCAR?" And no one had any idea what Formula One was, or even Formula Two, Formula Three, Formula Four, obviously not. So, it was always a bit weird to explain what I was doing to people. Didn't quite understand. But yeah, ever since Drive to Survive came out, even when I go see friends from that I know growing up at home, they ask me if I know Charles Leclerc, or if I know Max Verstappen, or whatever. So it's definitely growing, and it is a lot more mainstream. And now if someone asks me and what my goal is, and I say Formula One, and they know what that is, and they know about the teams. Maybe the dramatic version, but definitely they know about it. Yeah.
Yeah, they've definitely heard of the characters or the drivers from DTS, of course. Which, yeah, I mean, I was a huge fan of that when it first came out. I was like, wow, this is such a unique show. We've never seen anything like this before, and that is definitely one of the best things about Liberty since they took over the sport around that time. So, as I mentioned in the intro, you're a member of the Aston Martin Driver Academy. I mean, how exciting is it being a part of a team that has such lofty ambitions? They've expanded their Silverstone base markedly. I think they've actually got a mini Silverstone there. Some people have, which is weird because they're right next to Silverstone anyway. But yeah, a miniature version just for themselves is nice. Obviously, you've got Fernando Alonso there at the team, double world champion, and Adrian Newey is joining the team as well. I mean, what's the kind of atmosphere and the vibe around the team? Because it seems very positive at the moment.
Yeah, I joined at the beginning of last year, and I mean, even since then the growth has been quite crazy. When I started, they were still using a old simulator that wasn't in the factory, so we still had to go outside to use a simulator. Now simulators in the factory, they've added, I mean, massive buildings. They've added wind tunnel. They've added so much, and obviously in that time as well, they added Adrian Newey. They added a bunch of very influential people on the car development side. So, it's like it's a huge project, and it's awesome to be a part of it. And yeah, it's awesome as well to learn from Fernando and Lance, and just learn from all the key people in the team. Really, everyone has so much experience, and it's great to be able to learn from them.
Absolutely. Yeah. I hope you don't mind me asking, what's the best advice really that Alonso's given you? Because I've spoken to Gabriel Bortoleto previously, who was, of course, effectively managed by Alonso's agency. So I wanted to ask, what's the kind of advice that he's given you? Because, you're around that sort of age group as well.
Yeah, I mean, he hasn't given me any specific advice, maybe because I was racing against one of his drivers. But yeah, I remember we were in an elevator and in Vegas together, and we were just talking about the Qatar track, and I'd never been there before, and he obviously had previous years, so just give me, what it was like, what it felt like, how the curbs were, stuff like that. So that was the only advice he's given me, but yeah, still was good to talk to him.
I bet, yeah, I bet. He's definitely a character I'd love to talk to as well. A man with so much experience in Formula One. Now, just turning our attention to Formula Two, because obviously you're coming back again for your third overall season, I believe, off my head in Formula Two. Last season, you managed to get fifth overall in the championship, improving upon a 13th overall in 2023. What are your aims and ambitions heading into this season for 2025?
Yeah, already 2024 was a good year. If, certain factors had gone differently at certain times, then, I could have been in the championship fight to the end and possibly wouldn't be coming back, but I am. And, it was already a great year last year. And, then it's just about fixing those things that went wrong. It's not like we need to change the game and change a lot. We just need to improve on what we struggle with. And I think we'll be fighting for the title. Obviously, that's my goal. Now my third season. Those are the expectations along with last year's results and being the highest returning driver. So yeah, that's the goal. And it's straightforward as that.
You make it sound simple, but we all know there's a lot of work and preparation that goes into that. But yeah, I'm sure you'll have a lot of success again this year. And but you're a busy man though, Jack. You do one or two things outside of Formula Two, of course. You're a reserve as well for the Andretti Formula E team. What do you make of the Formula E car? Because it's obviously gone through few different generations. I think they're on the third or fourth generation car now, off the top of my head. And is this a series that you can see yourself going into full time in the future?
Yeah, for sure. It's obviously my goal at the moment is F1. But one day would be great to race in Formula E. The development in the series is growing massively. And for sure in the next couple of years, it already is a top level motorsport, but obviously the cars aren't quite up to par with the likes of Formula One yet, but I think eventually it definitely could get there. And the teams are already so professional. They work like Formula One teams. The driver quality is close to F1. And so it's already a top series. So I would love to race in Formula E one day.
Oh, that's really positive to hear, Jack. Thank you for that. And thank you for your time as well in this interview. Best of luck for the year ahead in Formula Two.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Who do you guys want to see on the show next? Let us know in the comments below. We've got a big back catalogue of episodes from 2024 where I also spoke to quite a few Formula 2 and Formula 3 drivers as well. Head over to the socials, head over to Patreon if you want to get some exclusive membership benefits here on the F1Chronicle.com as always. And yeah, see you soon, guys. Have a good one.